Welcome to the stream, guys. Welcome to the Pitchfork podcast. We're going to be doing some Bad Cop News live. Boy, we got some doozies for you tonight. I have been consuming because of some of these stories, I kind of have to. For some of these stories, I kind of have to, man. These stories are quite precious, so let's just, without further ado, let's just get into it, man. Let me just take one more puff, because oh my God, you're not going to believe how crazy some of these stories are. So, woosah. Let's get into these stories, man. Let's get into these stories. All right. For our first story. Oh, boy. Let's get into this story here. So, family, this story comes from Washington State. Seattle police officer has been stalking his ex-girlfriend. Wow, that is quite a headline. So, apparently, there's a police officer whose name is Officer Andrew Swartz of the Seattle Police Department. And Andrew Swartz had dated a woman for about 11 months. And when they broke up, she started dating another man. And on July 31st of 2021, the new boyfriend reportedly told police that when he was home with his children, the doorbell rang. He went downstairs to open the door, the boyfriend reported, and saw a man looking into the side window with his face pressed against the glass. Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. And the man at the window lied and identified himself as an employee from J&J Financial and asked about refinancing his home. According to the police report, he told the man to leave. The woman had showed the new boyfriend a photo of Swartz, police wrote, and he said the man who came to the house looked similar to Swartz. The new boyfriend told law enforcement that Swartz photographed him and the woman at a hotel in Linwood. So basically, this guy was just stalking them, following both the ex-girlfriend and the new boyfriend, photographing them, putting his face against the glass. I mean, holy smack. Holy smokes. Listen, y'all, this is a new level. This man was stalking both the ex-girlfriend and the new boyfriend. So this is not just a story about, women's safety. It's about everybody's safety at this point from this police officer. Mind you, the whole time, the stalker is actually a police officer, y'all. Yeah, let's just let that sink in just for a moment. The stalker is actually a police officer. So it goes on. Detectives believe there is probable cause that Andrew Swartz committed felony domestic violence and stalking. Let me go over that again. Detectives believe there is probable cause that Andrew Swartz committed felony DV stalking over a 2-month period while working as a police officer in 2021. So basically, this guy was a police officer while being the very type of criminal that he's supposed to be chasing. Man, oh man, Blue Lives Matter. Y'all been taking L's like this lately. Is this your man's? I'm just curious, Blue Lives Matter, because you say that all cops are heroes. All of them are heroes. Every last one of them, right? You say every last one's a hero. Is he a hero too? I'm just curious. I got to know. I got to know at this point. Because you gotta admit, man, that is a heck of a headline. That headline is beautiful. It's like Campbell's soup, baby. It's just good. Just good. Delicious. I mean, just look at that headline, y'all. What do you do with this? How you got a police officer stalking his ex-girlfriend? And anybody wants to take a stab at that one? Because I got nothing. I gotta be honest with you. I got nothing. Oh my God. I got nothing. I gotta be honest with you. I gotta keep it a buck with you. I got nothing. I am just at a loss. Let's get into the next story, though. Let's get into the next story. Because I got a feeling the next story is going to be another doozy. This is about a Portland police officer. This is for this Pacific Northwest, man. I tell you, Pacific Northwest, they got some wild cops over here, man. Pacific Northwest definitely has some wild cops. They have some misbehaving piggies, I must say. They have some oinkers over here, man. They got some real oinkers. So let's get deeper into this delicious story. So, family, this story comes from Oregon. Portland police officer charged with abuse after allegedly grabbing a woman and pulling her hair while off duty at a bar. He decided that no didn't mean no, apparently. And that's really unfortunate because Dark Hole is a Portland police officer. And he's a Portland police sergeant, actually. And he was arrested and charged Thursday with some abuse and harassment after allegedly grabbing a woman and pulling her hair. You know, he essayed her, in other words, at a Washington County sports bar in October. So he was cited and released. He's back on the streets. Hull is a supervisor and 23-year member of the Portland Police Bureau assigned to the traffic division, was off duty when the alleged crime occurred. So basically, this officer wants to enforce laws, but doesn't want to actually follow the law himself because, you know, Portland Police Chief Chuck Lavelle, who is a black man, by the way, he says that as law enforcement officers, we are held to a higher standard. Sir, your whole department is under a federal consent decree. How are you held to a higher standard when the very fact that you're under a federal consent decree, which by the way, less than 30 departments are actually under, so mathematically, it's really, really bad to be under a federal consent decree. But a federal consent decree basically means that this whole department is being told by the federal government to behave, or else, basically. And that's the long and the short of it. And the funniest part about that is that they have not been able to behave at the Portland Police Bureau. In fact, one could argue they were worse because one of the people who was charged to watch them, let me show you something real quick. So last year, there was a black woman whose name is Joanne. And so last year, there was a black woman named Joanne Hardesty, who is the first black woman to be a commissioner with the city of Portland. And she filed a $5 million lawsuit and won that lawsuit against the Portland Police Union and the former Portland Police president, who was Brian Hunzeker. I know the guy's name by heart. For the leak of false hit and run allegation. This man accused this woman of a fake hit and run allegation because she was critical of the police. The president of the Portland Police Union tried to frame this woman, and he was an active Portland police sergeant at the time. Yes, folks, that's where we are in this country. This black woman, the first black woman who was a commissioner in the city, was framed by the police because she was critical of the police. That's where we are with Portland police. They can't be trusted. I'm telling you. I'm just telling you. And this story, along with this story, shows you that ever since they were placed under that federal consent decree, their behavior has not improved. Federal government, take notice. What else would it take? Good Lord. I tell you, folks, it baffles me. You know? It just baffles me. It baffles me that stories like this are out there, and it's always been true. But then people will still argue with me and say, hey, maybe you're wrong. Have you even addressed any of the problems that I just mentioned? No, not even one. So you're going to come at the person who's actually trying to address them. Okay. You're gonna now tell me how to address the problem better that you haven't even bothered to even like know about. Okay. Makes sense. Let's continue. Let's continue. Oh boy. Oh boy, another hero police officer here, man. Another hero, guys. Guys, listen. All cops are heroes. All right. So if you think this guy's not a hero, all right, well then you're just un-American. All right. You just don't love you just don't love heroes. All right. This guy, Blue Lives Matter, told me that all cops are heroes. All right. So what I'm seeing right now, this is not someone being clearly a criminal. This is clearly heroic behavior. This man is a hero, all right? This man is a hero. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. So, family, this story comes from Connecticut. A police officer has been arrested for using police system to follow a woman on social media. Wow. Wow. That is very heroic, has very heroic behavior. Blue Lives Matter, you say that all cops are heroes. You know, and I totally believe you. This is heroic behavior, guys. Absolutely. You know, this man is a hero. Apparently. I mean, according to Blue Lives Matter anyways. So, an Old Saybrook police officer was arrested and placed on administrative leave for using a police database to look up a woman's personal information. Old Saybrook police said patrolman Josh Zarbo was accused of a late... Old Saybrook police said patrolman Josh Zarbo was accused of illegally using an online law enforcement system called Collect to get information about the woman whom he saw while he was on patrol. So he saw a woman while he was on patrol, and he wanted to go holler. Apparently, they said Zarbo noticed the complainant while he patrolled Walmart for a Black Friday event. According to the arrest warrant, the complainant said she saw Zarbo staring at her as she drove away. Zarbo allegedly used her vehicle registration along with her plate number to gain access to her personal information. Wow, that is such much heroism. You know, Blue Lives Matter is correct. This guy is a hero. You know, bravo. Bravo, Josh Zarbo. You know, much heroism here. All right. You see this, guys? We were always told that it was black men who were the criminals. We were always told that it was black men who were doing this, who were doing that. And yet, when we pull back the curtain, the almighty curtain, man, that curtain, from behind that curtain, it looks awfully white. I just gotta be honest with you. And the proof is U.S. law enforcement, baby. You know, I gotta say, this guy is definitely a hero. I totally agree with Blue Lives Matter. Blue Lives Matter, you know what? You got a point. You know what? Checkmate. Because only a hero, right, could wear a police uniform, have on a badge, have all his taxpayer-funded gear, and yet do something like this, use his police power to try to get a date. You know, and still call himself a hero. Wow. Wow. And then have Blue Lives Matter even defend him. Wow. Wow. Much heroism. Bravo. Bravo. I gotta rub it in some, you know? I gotta rub it in some. Because, see, stories like this is what warms my cuckolds, you know? I love teasing Blue Lives Matter, you know? It's great. It's great. I love teasing Blue Lives Matter. They they make it easy on you, you know? Oh boy. So let's get into this story here. Let's get into this one here. So, family, this story comes from Illinois. Chicago Police Board fires officer linked to scandal-plagued Special Operations Section. Man, let me tell you something. The Chicago Police have this Special Operations Section that has been known to frame people for crimes, commit all kinds of crimes as police officers, steals money, steal products from people, you name it. I mean, it's just run-of-the-mill, just police state corruption, misconduct, you name it, they engage in it. It is Chicago police, baby, at their best. But this is a very interesting story because more than 16 years after he was first accused of misconduct, the Chicago Police Board on Thursday fired an officer who was found to have submitted false reports while working as part of the CPD's scandal-plagued Special Operations Section. Board members voted 5-1 in favor of firing Officer Thomas Sherry, who was assigned to desk duty for more than a decade and placed on no pay status in 2021. One of the board members recused herself from the vote. Sherry's attorney, Paul Geiger, said he plans to appeal the board's decision in Cook County Circuit Court in the next 35 days. Wow. So, this guy, for more than 16 years, he sat around. He was accused of misconduct more than 16 years ago. Blue Lives Matter, are you listening? This man was accused of misconduct more than 16 years ago. He was found to have submitted false reports while working as part of the CPD's Special Operations Section. And this guy, right? This guy sat on the job for more than 16 years, and he was only placed on no pay status in 2021 for one of those years. And you want to sit here and tell me about how good cops are? Why should the taxpayers pay for this man to sit around and do nothing for over 16 years? And Blue Lives Matter wants the police to have more rights, more immunities, and more pressure, and more power. People who support police officers after seeing a story like this, don't say that you love America, and don't say that you love freedom. If a story like this doesn't make you immediately go, we need to reimagine policing. Entirely. Like, it's just that simple. Like you have a guy sitting on the payroll for at least 15 to 16 years. And we've known the whole time that he was submitting false reports, and they just fired him? What the fuck else can you get them say? What the fuck else can you say with that? Before the day, did you even hear about who Thomas Sherry was? I vaguely remember the name, and I cover this for a living, but I know the average person who's watched this hasn't. So then that begs the question, how many Thomas Sherrys are out there? It begs the question, right? It begs the question, doesn't it? How many of him are out there? How many? That is unreal. For more than... This man just got his pay status removed last year. Do you understand how fucking insane it is to have a known criminal working with you? Because when you submit false reports, that's a goddamn crime. And if the cops believe that he actually did that, they are willingly working with a known criminal. That's crazy. That's crazy. But do you know how I know when your department is corrupt? Oh my goodness. Do you want to know how I know your department is corrupt? Right? So, family, this story comes from Idaho. A fired police accountability director in Idaho files lawsuit. So, basically, the person was fired. And that's one of the first ways that I know is a bit of a red flag. This comes from the Insurance Journal. And the director of Bossier's police watchdog group, who was put on leave earlier this month, has been fired, and he has filed a lawsuit against the city. Mayor Lauren McLean's office said the decision to place Office of Police Accountability Director Jesus Yara on leave December the 2nd was in response to ongoing concerns with his professional judgment and lack of confidence in the actions of the office. The Boise City Council on Friday voted 5-1 to fire him. Yara was made director in late August 2021. So Jesus Yara, from the Office of Police Accountability, he was fired. And they're saying that he was fired because of concerns of his professional judgment. Now, the question becomes, what was his lack of professional judgment? I'm very curious. The firing and lawsuit comes during what has been a tumultuous period surrounding the Boise Police Department. Mayor McLean asked for former Chief Lee's resignation in September, and in November announced an investigation to determine if a police captain whose ties to a white supremacist group became known after he retired violated the rights of residents during his more than 2 decades with the agency. Lee's resignation followed an investigation into complaints against him by officers into whether Lee injured an officer during a 2021 training. The Office of Police Accountability recommended Lee be placed on leave during that investigation, and city leaders chose not to follow that recommendation. Wow. So apparently there was some retaliation there. There was some cover-ups there. That's very fascinating. So I don't know who to believe in this case. Let's just say, since there's just nothing but government officials involved here, I believe all of them. I think all of them are correct. They are all corrupt. But it is fascinating that the director of the police watchdog is suing, and apparently there was a cover-up involving a white supremacist police officer. Boy, this just sounds delicious. I'm loving it. Are you loving it? Oh man, I can't wait to see more. I'm going to keep you guys updated on this story. Oh, delicious. Yes, sir. I love it. Oh boy. We're going to get that one in a second. We're going to get this one. There's another one here from the Insurance Journal. I love it. I'm liking the Insurance Journal, man. They are really, they've been great. Let's get into this one here. So, family, this story comes from Michigan, and the Michigan Police Department faces discrimination charges. So, Michigan's civil rights watchdog announced 2 charges of discrimination against the Grand Rapids Police Department on Wednesday, further heightening scrutiny of the department following an officer's killing of a black motorist in April. The civil charges come in response to complaints filed in the Michigan Department of Civil Rights. The complaints filed on behalf of 2 11-year-old black boys alleged that police responding to a 911 call stopped the pair and a 17-year-old boy and held them at gunpoint. They were also handcuffed and searched, officials said. The officers were responding to a call about children walking near train tracks with a toy gun. Why would you hold them at gunpoint? Why would you cuff them? Why would you search them for a toy gun? It makes and again, you don't have to even tell me they were black boys. I just kind of figured. You don't have to even tell me. And that's a really, really sad reality of where we are in this country, that you don't have to really tell me that they were black boys. I just kind of knew. I just kind of knew right off the top of my head that this was gonna be black children because I'm gonna be a father soon. My son is due in March, and this and stories like this, it really makes you more conscious as a parent, especially as a black parent, because you see them as the precious angels that they are. But that's not how the world sees them. Because we know how the world saw Trayvon Martin and Tamir Rice and just so many other young men. Dante Clark, Elijah McClain, that one still hurts my soul. But you see how the police treat these young men. They had a report about a toy gun. Why do you bring real guns then? They were hoping that one of those young men would point that gun at one of the officers, and then the officer would get to, you know. And that's how some police officers think. You may think there's no officers out there like that. Okay, sure. You may think that. But if an officer realizes they have qualified immunity, if an officer realizes it's very difficult to bring criminal charges against a police officer in the first place, and they carry a gun every day, you don't think at some point they're going to want to test that? Really? You have more faith in humanity than I do, because I worked around law enforcement. I know how they truly are. Some of the conversations that they have, you'd be appalled by. But you aren't privy to most of those. I was. So, just saying. Just saying. Sad but true. Sad but true. Sad but true. Sad but true. Guys, I think that's gonna be it for me tonight, man. That's sad but true. I'm gonna cover these other stories some other time, but for right now, I think that's a good time to wrap it up, man. Keep it about 30 minutes to an hour on the shows, and I wanted just to keep it a brief updates on how I do my stories and to kind of show you how I find them and everything else, and some of the stories that keep me up at night. So I want to cover those 3 particular stories because those are pretty crazy and wild to me. Well, actually, it's 4 stories. But guys, anyways, until next time, horns up, peace out, good night, and good luck.